Good morning. It is Friday, May 15th, 2026. And I wanted to come in and piggyback off the last video that I made because this is going to make so much more sense now that I can actually discuss this and have people understand what it means. I want to talk about some of the things that, unbeknownst to us, causes us to become possessed. And I want to talk about technology when it comes to this, because I have been investigating technology for a very long time about spirits. And how do spirits get to us through our technology exactly? And I really wanted to know the meat and bones of this because I realize that this happens to a lot of people all the time. Our kids spend more and more time on these devices than they ever have, ever. And it is causing people to make lawsuits against these companies and societies that are infiltrating our algorithm and our applications and our frequencies. See, what people don't know is that a real spirit from the underworld who is desperate to harvest your energy, and I do mean desperate. A spirit can absolutely match its frequency to any application on social media that you have on your cell phone, and we all have social media on our cell phone because I did this application with a cell phone, and that's how I figured it out. But I had to do a lot more research to understand it because I'm not a quantum physicist. I'm just a person who is a healer and a psychic medium, and I notice things that can devastate all of us. And right now, it's devastating the life and career of someone that I think deserves his second chance because he probably didn't see it coming. Okay? But I did. And God told me, just wait. I really didn't want to, but I had to, so I was patient through this. But I really wanted to say this before this, and I've talked about it before, but it was just one piece of it. So this time I can tell you all of it. And the truth is, when I was investigating technology, I was absolutely watching it possess people that I was visiting in the internet. And I didn't get how that was happening until I downloaded a ghost application, a ghost detector. This thing was just a radar scanner type thing, and it would light up the target if it found a ghost in your vicinity, which the first time I tried it, you can just imagine there was a ghost here. It was in our alleyway, which is where a current portal is located by a bus stop. And I noticed the portal because of all the people that go in there and don't come out, and all the people that just go back and forth. They go in there with nothing, they come out with a huge black bag of stuff. I have no idea what that's about, and I have every idea what that's about because of my location, where I'm located at. I know what I'm located over, and most wouldn't guess that about this place, but it's basically a built-over graveyard, but it was a mound at first, and a mound indicates indigenous people that were buried here. So there are spirits attached to this, and they're not pleasant ones either. And the ones that are able to match their frequency to an application like the Ghost app can also match its frequency to an application such as Facebook, YouTube, the X, and TikTok. Any spirit, whether they're light or dark, can do this if they learn how to. They absolutely can. And once they attach to that application, they can present themselves to you and attach to your aura because we're staring into a black mirror when we use our cell phones. And I know about black mirrors and just exactly what you can bring through those black mirrors. And that, in and of itself, is frightening enough. But to have a demon attached to you in this way, it's hard to wrap your head around it, because this is what happened. So I had the target thing on there and all that. It pointed out there was a spirit there, and then me and the 33-degree Mason, Vince, were talking about it. Well, by the next time I picked up my phone and looked at it, lo and behold, my heart about dumped right out of my chest, because I saw somebody that was familiar to me, and it was an absolute demon, man. And I mean, it's like one of the worst ones for me personally that it could have been, because this particular demon and me, we had a war in hell, and we really did. We really, really did, and it got really, really bad. And I had to call in my grandmother Freya to help me, because there's just certain things I can't do, but I knew Nana Freya could do it for me. And it's a pretty deep and dark story, but I had a twin flame there in hell with me, and in order to get me out, he went to this demon, and he is a very popular one in hell. Unfortunately, he's also known as a knight in Satan's army. And when he appears to you in his nightmares, in your nightmares, he appears as a black chess piece. A black chess piece. And he's got this goofy freaking grin on his face that you just want to slap right the fuck off. Because he knows you, and he's gonna get your fucking bitch ass. This one is really fucking dark, because he requires an entire field of unalived people after a war just to catch a buzz. He's pretty fucking dangerous, man. And he's got a wife, and she is just as dangerous and as evil, if not worse. So because he had conned him into signing this contract, basically there was a carbon copy contract underneath it where they did force a drop of my blood into it, which then contracted me to a house in hell, which I then had to go and get an archangel from heaven that deals with that to help me out there, because I didn't even know that could happen. But in this application, the demon absolutely appeared as himself as I remembered him. He did. This demon comes with his own mirror. He does. And when he appears to you, you see his back, but he's staring at you through that mirror. And if he's staring at you through that mirror, and you got that cell phone in your hand, you have a handy dandy gateway for him to come through. And at the time, myself and apparently the 33-degree Mason did not know that, because here he was sitting right there on my screen in this application. And this application doesn't have photographs of demons in it. It really didn't. It had that little target thing with the line circling it, and that's all it had. But he showed up in there with his black magic and let me know, I'm here. Now that was the first time I seen him. I asked St. Michael to hunt him down because of the damage he can cause. And St. Michael did hunt him down. And he was found on the inside of another application named Randonautica. There were people that went to a forest after St. Michael got done with this thing, and they filmed the demon where Archangel Michael locked it in. And he locked it in to the stump of a tree trunk. The tree was no more there, but when you came up on the stump, all you could see was that demon and his shit-eating grin. It was carved into the stump with fire. And I seen the video. It was done by a guy that does Randonautica videos. He was one of the first ones. His name was Nick. And he absolutely found the video of it. I was shocked that he found that video, and I'm sure I saved that video in the Mitzi Sabercool account under Michelle that I used to have for YouTube. But that account was canceled. All of those videos were taken. I have no idea where they're at right now. And it's so sad because I talked about a lot of this stuff there. But this application, Randonautica, was absolutely hooked up to the spirit world. Now, when he was in my application on my ghost app, he definitely made a psychic link to me and tormented me for many years until St. Michael got him out of here. I looked at that ghost app probably in 2000 and between 18 and 19, somewhere in there. I just wanted to see, you know, using a divinational tool, how that would work, and now I know. And I remember going to Tyler's Tarot during a couple of his live feeds, and there he was playing with a Ouija board. In one of his lives, he mentioned that he was collecting them, and he had a lot of them. And I thought to myself, oh my God. And God said, don't say anything. He's also on a learning quest. And so I had to be silent. But now I can talk about what I know about Ouija boards because I have a daughter who also used Ouija boards. I personally don't use the Ouija board, and please let me explain why. I'm a Heoki empath. I have a mirror. It reflects to me any negativity that I might want to put out in the world, and exactly why I'm putting it out in the world. To people and demons, it reflects back to them exactly what they're doing to me, so they can see what it is they need to work on in their own lives, in their own spirituality, whether that be pride, ego, jealousy, anger, whatever it may be. It reflects it back to you so you know what you need to work on, and it reflects back to me what I need to work on in my spirit. Okay? So when it comes to mirrors, they are gateways, and they do let in things that are very unpleasant, especially when it comes to the Ouija board, because that Ouija board that we all have played, I have once, yes, you can talk to spirits. Yeah, the demons know who your kin are, because most likely they're in purgatory. That's how they know. They wouldn't know if your kin was up there in heaven, though, and they could be lying to you about all of it. That's the thing about demons, you never know. It's a box of chocolates, and you never know exactly what their intention is, because they've spent hundreds of thousands of years hiding their intention and fooling you as they masquerade around in your mind as your own thoughts. This is a principality, and it's trying to rule your head by giving you your desire. And when somebody gets their desire, I just know that's not a good thing for them when they receive it willy-nilly. And people don't do their research on Ouija boards, but that Ouija board has always been a portal to the dark side. It has a demon that not only owns that portal, but it thinks it owns those that play the game. That it does. I do not say these demons' names, because it's as good as giving them power and summoning them. To me, no demon, until proven otherwise, is worthy of my trust until God says so. And that's a fact. So, Tyler messing around with these Ouija boards. We also had, in spirituality community, someone had a forbidden book of black magic. And they were using that black magic against the collective. And I did consider Tyler a part of the collective, because he was very talented. Where did them talents come from? I absolutely don't know, because I've heard that he's an atheist. I'm not sure if that's true or not, because I haven't had a chance to talk to him eye to eye and person to person ever. But I just knew about the Ouija boards. That was not going to end well. The thing about that portal is that when any of your enemies, and we all have them, come for you, and they have a forbidden book floating around in the air, they can absolutely stuff about 40 a legion of demons in any Ouija board. And from what I saw, he had a lot of Ouija boards. And each Ouija board is connected to a demon with principalities, and clearly there's one of them that's got some power to him and some bite to him. But if you were playing with a Ouija board and somebody decided to send a legion of demons at you, and you were playing that Ouija board at the time, they would sneak in there, again, masquerading as your own thoughts. You wouldn't know it, but you would appear to everybody as a demon yourself. You would, because that's 40 of them and they're working on you, whether you know it or not. The worst thing that you can do when they're coming for you is drink. I had to find out the hard way that it was my drinking that allowed this demon to possess me. I quit drinking after that. Once in a blue moon I'll do it, and when I do I have to call in all of my guides, guardians, God, everybody to protect me. And I truly do that. As with anything, when you go too far with it, it's going to be detrimental to you. I'm well aware of it and dealing with my own issues with addiction and everything else. That's part of what your spiritual work is. To see and recognize in yourself the things that you're doing to bring this to your front door so that it can get in your back door. Because that demon systematically had created a back door for me years ago. And yes, I did wonder. I've stopped asking questions anymore, but I did wonder at the time, what the heck is a back door? How does that even get made? Well, then God pointed out to me every house, which to me, these are the 12 houses that they're talking about in Tarot Land. Okay, here they all are. The first one, the first house, they call it a house, is your appearance and attitude. Your second house is material possessions. Your third house is communications. Your fourth house is home-based domestics. Your fifth house, personal creativity. Your sixth house, occupations. Your seventh house, partnerships. Your eighth house, sex, legacies, and other resources affecting you. 9 is your long-distance travel. 10, career and profession. 11, friends, associations. 12, hidden personal resources. Secret activities, motivations. So, those are the 12 houses of your mind, your you universe, right? And if a demon gets in there, into your mind, because they will get in there, they're going to look at those 12 houses of yours, and that's where they're going to start attacking you. They're going to go through each and every one of them to find out what you like and what you don't like, and they're going to make sure that they give you what you don't like. But all the while, they're handing you what you desire. And usually what we all desire is any of the 7 deadly sins. Lust, greed. If you give way for greed, you literally are knocking the dominoes down for the other 6 to come in. And they're all associated with demons. They are. And all those demons want to do is get you under enough control so it makes it easy for them to harvest your energy from you. How do they do it? How do they harvest that energy? They wait. For a very long time they know that you're isolated. Most of us are alone because in order to maintain our purity, we kind of have to stay alone during some of this. Maybe not all of it, but for a while. That purity comes from us keeping our legs closed and keeping it in our pants. Now, I do know a few secrets to sex magic, but I know enough about it that I don't want the karma from it. So, Um, for people that don't know, it's best for your manifestations to not use sex, because that's how they steal it from you. They harvest it from you when you're having sex, either with yourself or with somebody else. And they wait for that, sometimes for hundreds of years. But they will wait for it to take it from you, and once they go in once, they don't ever want to stop coming. That energy is crack cocaine to them. It enables them to go and find that field of bodies that it so desperately wants to get high on. And you're feeding, his crew to take the rest of your family out. And when you know that, you start looking at things a whole lot different. When you see the patterns of the demon forcing itself into your children's lives, you sit down with God and try to figure it out. But until then, you just don't fucking think too much about it, because if you did, you could get lost in it forever. I didn't get lost in the sauce because God was here, and He made sure that I kept my mind focused and forward on what my real purpose was, and that is to bring the truth to you all about how technology is working against us and our kids. It is absolutely creating negative patterns in our families, in our minds, and in our lives. Absolutely. It is preventing us from being natural and going out in Mother Nature. It's kind of forcing us into a man-made prison of our own when we don't give up the things that we need to give up in order to make a sacrifice to God so we can carry on His work for Him, because we're not all here just for ourselves. Some of us are bound by contracts and obligations to our families, to heaven, and to ourselves. If I give my word, I want to keep my word. And I'm hoping that people will understand that when you get possessed, it makes you look like you're a demon. It does. I've taken pictures of this, I've screenshot it, and I've seen people turn into a demon during their videos. And it's kind of harsh to see that, because I like most of the people that I do watch. And I felt so helpless not being able to do anything to help them out. But God said, wait, I'll help you piece this together. And He did. And He's right about all of it. Me and my daughter and her Ouija board experiences, her Ouija board wouldn't stop appearing at my house after it had been thrown away. It just kept coming back every time we moved. I was finally able to get rid of it, but it required another person. And she did get rid of it. It didn't come back. I'm sure the demon did, though. But the Ouija board didn't. They can cause some serious issues to all of us. And when we're using that online, we're not aware that that's an open portal. We're filming it with a camera that's most likely on a phone. It doesn't matter. Two mirrors facing each other is a gateway. A portal into the other side. I'm pretty sure Travis Scott demonstrated to us going to the other side one night, coming back. He definitely showed us that experience. These are demons operating in people. As far as that goes, who made a deal for fame and fortune? I hear him and his girl both did. I don't know. I don't have perfect or true evidence, but for him, I sure do have evidence. There was so much video evidence on what went down there. It was unreal. It really was an absolute takeover of humanity. And they fell for it hook, line, and sinker by simply deciding to go out and have a good time at a concert. I would have never been able to get to that concert. I'd have felt that miles away. It was heavy. Really heavy. Just watching it on YouTube, it was heavy. But I saw exactly what happened in that, from the beginning to the end. And it was very accurate, I must say. So, before we persecute anybody or blame them We really need to look at what we ourselves have done to invite and allow these demons into our minds. Why do they consistently keep coming back? It can't just be all of our enemies. It's got to be things that we ourselves are doing. And some of us are warring with our own dark side. And it's hard for me to watch myself fight with myself. So I've decided to stop doing that and just sit, be still, listen, and tune in to the truth. And then follow up with what's being asked of me to do, which is tell the truth, even if that truth hurts people. If that truth saves millions and millions more, then it's worth speaking, isn't it? And I do believe that many of the tarot readers end up getting possessed during their reads, and it's not because they're bad readers, it's because you don't see it coming. And you think, based on your ego and pride, that even if it did, you'd be able to handle it. I can't tell you how many people I counsel that have the same attitude, and they want to get out of it right now too. And I'm doing my best to help people as much as I can, but we always have to meet God halfway, and that single step comes with a prayer to Him of gratitude, thanks, and please save me. Because He's already done that. You're still breathing, right? So continue to do that and move forward. Dealing with the truth is something to be honorable and respected for. And when people tell the truth, they deserve to be respected for it, because they're only trying to show you something that can affect you and your whole family, and not just in this lifetime. This can take you down into hell for many lifetimes that you don't want to expose yourself or your family to, no matter what. You don't. Been there, done that, and I'm not going back. And I will ride it till the wheels fall off, because I'm not going back. I didn't do anything to deserve that. Neither did anybody in my family. People here were possessed by shapeshifters. They were coerced from childhood on, experimented on, lied to, manipulated, and gaslit. All of us. And in the end, we hear them. We're going to take everybody out in your family. Haven't you done that enough? We're still here. And that's, the truth right there. I'm not lying about any of this. I don't like to be locked up. No one does. But at the same time, I don't like to see people get locked up on a more permanent basis that they can never ever get out of because they didn't know. So I am telling my truth. I'm doing it in these video forms because it's the easiest way that I can. And at this time, the only way. Yesterday, when I went to go upload a video, the whole internet shut down on me for hours. And it was really hard to get it back up.